I'm Brian, and I'm going to give you very quickly 3 reasons why writing a white paper will help build your authority in whatever field it is that you want to be an authority in. Well, first of all, you might ask, well, what do I need authority for? Well, think about this. Let's say you're a job applicant and you're going for a job in a particular field. Imagine if when you're being interviewed, you can bring along a white paper that you've written and you can say, well, look, I understand this field, by the way, here's a white paper I've written on it. Or let's say you're a company president or founder, you're the inventor of something. Let's say you're an engineer, you're kind of the designer for a company, or even you're just a marketing person and you want what you say to carry more weight. If you have that authority that goes with authorship, that will give you more weight and that will make people listen when you say that you're an expert because you have something to show for it. You can say, well, I've written this white paper. And in fact, it's funny because they don't actually have to read the white paper. All they have to do is see it. It's got a really good sounding title and there is your name on it. So, okay, very quickly, 3 ways that authoring that white paper will give you that authority, and I gave away the first one right there. A white paper is kind of unique among marketing documents because it's one of the few where your name goes on it, or the name of the authors if there's more than one person. And in other things like press releases or website copy or the brochure, you don't really put your name on it. You might put your name on a blog post, or social media posts, but they certainly don't carry the kind of weight that a white paper does. Okay, so number 1, it's a document. People want to know who the author is. It's a report, and your name goes onto it. The second reason why is as soon as somebody sees the title of your white paper and they understand what it's about, they suddenly get this idea that, wow, you have actually surveyed all of the field that your product is in or your solution is in, and you've actually looked seriously at all the alternatives. And now that you're recommending whatever your alternative is, you're just not selling one thing because you have to sell this one thing. It's superior because you've looked at everything else. And then, of course, in your white paper, you can demonstrate how your one solution, whatever it is, what your product is or what it is you're selling, is the solution. And so people, they see you as having been an expert because you know all about the field. And then they know that as they read the white paper, because you know so much, it's going to be valuable and it's going to be worth their time to take the time to read this white paper. Okay, so the second one is it showed that you have surveyed the entire field and you have a really good understanding of all the alternatives. And finally, the third reason why writing a white paper will build your authorship, it's because it's something you can actually do. Now, years ago, I know, especially in the financial services industry, guys were, authoring books, or they were having people ghostwrite books because they knew if they had a book about, whatever in the financial world, investing, if they had a book with their name on it, it gave them authority. Well, it's really expensive to hire a ghostwriter to write a book. You can write one yourself. It would take months. There's other ways now to establish authority. You could start a podcast. That could take months. It could take dozens of episodes for that to catch on. You could teach an online course, but again, it's really hard to point to. It's not neat and tidy like the authorship of a report that's really definitive and well argued and shows that you know your stuff, and that's the white paper. And of course, in my little book that I'm going to talk about in a minute, I show you a way that you can actually write your first white paper, a very convincing white paper, in a short amount of time. It does not have to take months, okay? So the third reason is a white paper is doable. You can get authorship quickly. In fact, you could probably write 3 or 4 white papers in the time that it would take you to write some of these other longer pieces, which will give you authority and which will show that you are an expert, but it's just a white paper is a really concise, really quick, really convincing way to do it. Okay, so if you need to write a white paper right away, you can get my little book called How to Write a White Paper in One Day, and it will actually show you how to do, you got to do the prep work first, but you can do the actual writing of your first draft in a single day if you've got all your information sources planned out, and that is on Amazon. It's a Kindle book, and it's a streamlined, it's a quick read. And part of what people really like about it, and the way I designed it, was it's got a template in there, the How to Write a White Paper in One Day template, and it basically takes you through every single step from figuring out your subject to composing the title of your white paper, down to paragraph by paragraph, and in some cases sentence by sentence, what you need to write to do a convincing white paper on any subject. So if you need to do that, there'll be a link below here, below the video where I'm posting the video. I'll be sure to put a link there. And let me know if you have any questions, and thank you so much for watching.